Well. Good morning, West Ham fans. Has Moyes told his mates he's not going to be West Ham manager next season? Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. Hope you're enjoying this weird bit in between Christmas and New Year when no one quite knows what day of the week it is. But we are playing Arsenal tonight, and I'll be doing my predicted 11, all that stuff. The watch along, keep an eye out on the channel. It's my anniversary as well. Happy anniversary to me and Mrs. Budden. 12 years. 12 years, eh? God, unbelievable, Jeff. Anyway, lots to talk about, and this is all about exits. This little video today, all about exits. We're going to start at the top. Let's start with about David Moyes, and what he's been telling his friends, apparently. So, according to several sources, including it's been reported on multiple sources, multiple different websites and stuff. Apparently, he's revealed the truth to his friends and family that he's off ski next season and he won't be West Ham manager in the 24-25 season. Now we know there's been no discussions about a new deal yet. That's pretty much par for the course for Sullivan when managers come to the end of their sort of contract, unlike players where we always try and keep them with a good few years on their books to maintain their value. For managers, he likes to do it at the end of the season when they do their end of the season review. Well, if reports are meant to be believed, we have our answer as to what's going to be happening next year. Journalist Wayne Versey has claimed that Moyes has told close friends and family where he lies with West Ham, and the answer seems pretty definite, in all honesty. He has basically said he won't be at West Ham next year. Now, that can't be misinterpreted at all, if that's a direct quote. You know, whether it means his fate has been sealed, whether that means there's no talk of a new contract, whether it means a decision's already been made internally that he's no longer going to be the West Ham manager next season, we don't know. Maybe he has no interest in staying any longer. There was speculation at the end of the summer, having just won the Europa Conference League, that he was going to bow out then, and many believe that was the case, but it wasn't. He's obviously still had a year left in his contract. And he wasn't going to walk out on wherever he's on, I don't know how much money he's on, but he must be on a decent wage. Now, arguably, no talks have been done at all, as we said. And I suppose with, lots of new jobs coming available probably in the summer, looking at the likes of maybe like Crystal Palace, with Roy Hodgson, maybe it's time. Maybe Moyes thinks it's time to embark on a new adventure. He's got these sort of 3 and a bit years under his belt at West Ham, and if it's meant to be his last year at West Ham, it's shaping up to be quite an excellent season, I think, at the moment. With a chance of another European place in a 4th consecutive year, if we maintain our league's performance at the moment, as well as we're through to the last of the 16 in the Europa League. It's literally come out of not left field, but it's been, not necessarily. There hasn't been like a lot of noise about it, and he just like drops this like it could all be bollocks, but that's what's been reported in terms of his fate has already been sealed in terms of what's happening next year. Another player looking to move on is Thilo Kehrer. Now, Thilo Kehrer has been quite vocal, apparently, internally, saying he's looking to move on to get game time. It's obviously, as I said before, many a time it's a Euros year this year. It's in Germany. He needs to be playing first team football to have any chance to to get into Nagelsmann's Germany side this year. And a number of suitors have emerged for his signature, likes of AC Milan as a potential. They've suffered a number of key injuries to defenders, and they reported, yesterday, I think it was, that he is a marketable option after a deal was proposed in the last few days. It seems Serie A may be a side which could be a league which he could move to. As at AC Milan, they've had Tamori, Kakuri, and Malik Thor all injured, so they're in search of a new defender. And Tilo is apparently one of several names being put forward. I think West Ham, with 2 years left in his contract, will be looking to make at least the money back what we paid for him. So, a bid of around at least £10 million, if not more, would be something we would consider. Also, Atalanta are also looking at him, who obviously signed Skarmaka from us as a potential as well. And so it could be there. Also, return to Germany as well. Several clubs are looking at him. Munich were looking at him as well. So we're not going to be short of suitors for Tilo, which might suggest why we are looking. We seem to be linked with a lot of defenders at the moment. So that could be a reason behind that potentially. I don't know. Another, we'll talk about another defender in a minute, but another player who wants out is Ben Rama. He's told owners to sell him in January, apparently, according to Fascistas, Fascistas.net, my favourite Spanish outlet. It claims that the Algerian winger is now demanding an exit from the club in January. The 28-year-old signed on loan from Brentford in October 2020 and later secured a permanent deal for around £30 million. He's struggled in recent months to make an impact. Moyes has got this system which involves Paqueta playing left wing, although he's not really on the left wing. And when we have brought in Ben Rama into the side, he hasn't performed to, the levels that he has done. He's been quite disappointing in the last 8-9 months, I'd say. Yes, there were sparks. There were, the goal, obviously, that in the conference final, he'll always be remembered for. But he's just he's off the boil now in my eyes. He's 28, and despite a subpar season so far, there are links to the Saudi Pro League, and I think to me that seems to be the simplest route for him out, really. I think Leon were looking at him, as well as Naif Aguerd, who we'll talk about in a minute. But obviously, the Saudi Pro League, they are going to be increasing the number of non-Saudi players from 8 to 10 per squad, I believe, for the upcoming season. So there'll be a raft of Saudi clubs looking at the Premier League for bringing in players of a certain type, a certain profile. And to be honest, I think Saeed does meet that profile. He's a Muslim-based player. There is a premium for Muslim-based Muslim players for in the Saudi Pro League to obviously promote, the religion internally. And I think Ben Rama would do very well out there. And at 28, he's coming to the end of his usefulness, I think, in all honesty. The likes of Saeed, the likes of Fornals, these guys are, 28. They're coming to the end, coming up to their 30s. It's about bringing in a newer model, I think, in all honesty. Yeah, it's a harsh thing to say, but we need younger blood. I was looking at the squad, and as I said, 1 to 13, good, really good, a really good side. Once you start going a bit underneath that bonnet, going further down, the squad fillers just aren't. They're not exciting. We haven't got game changers. We haven't got some guy we can throw on and just do something. Saeed used to be that person, but he's not that person anymore now. Same as Fornals, really. And the likes of people like Connor Coventry and stuff like that. Danny Ings, I still think they're in there just for the fact that they're British. And for Connor, the fact he's an academy player as well. So there's a premium keeping him in the side just for the numbers, really. We still only got a 24-man out of 25-man squad. So there's still a space we could have brought a player in already, even a free transfer, which we haven't done yet. And obviously we won't do until January. Now, the interesting one for me is Aguerd. Now let's talk about Naya Aguerd. As I said, according to reports from L'Equipe, the Algerian, the Moroccan, he's not Algerian, but the Moroccan central defender is being targeted for a move by Lyon, who are also interested in Ben Rama, apparently. Realistically, he reps, when you're looking at the likes of what we could get for someone like Attilo Kehrer, I don't know, 15 million quid maybe, if you're lucky. Realistically, he, again, demands a much bigger fee than someone like selling Tino Kira, for example. Now, I'm a little bit worried about Naif again, I'll be honest, and this flu bug. Cast your mind back to the World Cup. He obviously had the horrific injury, and he came back within a month, just before the World Cup. He played a little bit of football for us, then went and played a whole World Cup for Morocco. It seems like history's repeating itself a little bit. This bug's hanging around. The likelihood is he won't play tonight. And then by the time Brighton comes, he could already be lined up with the squad already, I believe. I mean, I think the Moroccan head coach announces his squad today. So he'll be one of the first names on it. And they're going to be required to leave West Ham on January the 1st to meet up with the squad. And so potentially, you might not see Naif Aguerd in a West Ham shirt ever again. If the move to Lyon happens or the Saudi Pro League happens, in between him going, the Arsenal game is his last game before he's off. And so, yeah, you might never see him again. I mean, if Morocco, I mean, they're one of the favourites to win the AFCONs, and so he might not get back into the week of after February the 11th final. And if he comes back to West Ham at all, like it is, he'll be, his stock will rise because he'll have won the AFCONs. We know that he's been heavily linked to a move for the Saudi Pro League, and there has been an inconsistency in his performance. I think it's a lot more consistent in recent weeks. I think his inconsistent performances are usually when he plays on the right hand side last season when Kurt was out, and obviously he was partnered by Ogbonna. And with Hammers needing to raise some money, clear space for more homegrown players as well, it might not be a surprise to see us linked with, as we have been, with several homegrown or British-based defenders, and maybe selling something again in January. Medicals can easily be done, by a buying club during an international duty. So, no barriers to that. Time will tell. Time will tell. But according to Claret Hugh, West Ham the West Ham hierarchy are very frustrated with Naif at the moment. And if he remains unavailable for, obviously for the Arsenal game, and then still travels to the AFCONs and probably plays most of them, to be honest. As I said, it was reported that he was recovering well from his flu bug, but he remains still unlikely to feature against Arsenal. I don't know. It's a strange one. I just think there's something weird going on with Naif Aguerd. And I think the role of, Zuma and Mavropanos against Man United, likely to play that same two against Arsenal away. It just seems a bit strange. Maybe I'm doing him a disservice, but I think he's a great player. I just think he's playing he's been playing a lot better since we're playing this more sort of high tempo system. Where we're playing this sort of like a Bowen, Paqueta, and Kadu sort of front three, a little bit more mobile, maybe less of a defensive. I don't like the word low block. It's not a low. It's just ultra defensive. Naif plays better on the front foot, and the last few games he's been playing a lot better. And then obviously he gets the sickness bug, and he may just be more affected by the flu than other players. I've had this cold for ages. I haven't been able to shift it myself. but the timing does seem really suspicious coming up to the AFCONs around the corner. Just my humble opinion, putting two and two together and coming up with five, but it's happened before, happened at the World Cup, didn't it? Particularly it will be weird if Nayef sort of suddenly, rediscovers his fitness in time for the, to meet up with the AFCONs, and then questions will definitely be asked. And then, I don't know. Obviously, we've been linked with the likes of Jonathan Tarr recently, Ronnie Edwards from Peterborough. There was Bernard from Sunderland a while ago, and a number of centre halves, younger centre halves as well. Piero Hincapié from by Leverkusen, as well as obviously Jonathan Tarr as well. Several sort of German-based players as well, but I don't know. I'm just putting two and two together and coming up with four. Maybe coming up with five. I don't know. Let me know what you think. But that was just my little rundown. It's fair to say whatever happens come summer, it's going to be another summer of change and a lot of ins and outs, and maybe Danny Ings outs as well. There's plenty of contracts up for renewal, players leaving contracts, players' contracts coming to an end, new contracts being agreed. So it's going to be really fascinating, I think. And, we'll try and give you as much info as soon as we find anything out, and keep you up to date with all the transfer news, particularly in January. I think January's going to be fascinating in terms of how we go, in terms of whether, it was long perceived we're going to be going for attacking players. In the last few weeks, it seems the focus has changed to become more defensive and go for more defensive, targets. The likes of Martson, for example, at Chelsea. We've got Kyle Walker-Peters. These sort of homegrown British players who are at a certain age where they can still fit the Steinton profile. And obviously, by all accounts, Tim is, he's control of all of the transfers as well, by what we're led to be believed, which again may pay lip service to what Moyes has been saying to his mates, apparently, about he's definitely leaving in the summer. I just a bit of a brain dump, but the Lemsips kicked in, that's why. But anyway, keep an eye on the channel, and we'll give you as much information as and when we find out. Take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith, my bloody friends, and come on, you bloody